So that's the notification. That's part one. Part two of this requirement is on page number 5, and that's that they actually get the free copy of the valuation. So if you don't end up ordering the valuation, it's a moot issue. But if we do get that far, they have to get the valuation that you relied upon. And so there's a timing element to this too that we're going to get to in a moment. But sometimes we get the valuation and we think it's final, and then we have to get an updated version. Understand this, that if there are multiple versions that you thought were final, each one of them had to have been provided. So if on the 15th of the month you have what you think is the final version, then you're supposed to get it to me promptly. I'll explain that in a moment. If it gets updated later on, after you've already provided it to me, you'll provide it to me again. That's what that paragraph directly underneath letter D is addressing. Now the timing, letter D1, promptly upon completion, but at least 3 business days before closing, whichever's earlier. Really odd how they wrote this, right? And so let me give you the scenario. I apply at the beginning of the month. Let's just say the 1st. You order the valuation early on because you know there's a backlog. Okay, let's say you get it around the 15th of the month. Okay, there's some things you have to do internally to make sure that the lender can rely on it and use it to make the credit decision, right? So once it lands in the lender's lap after the bank says it's okay to rely on this, my rule of thumb is this. In order to satisfy promptly, okay, I'd go 3 days after the lender is authorized to now use that valuation to make his or her credit decision. What I do know is this: you can't just sit on it until 3 days before closing because you wouldn't be satisfying promptly. Okay, my scenario applied on the 1st of the month, got it the 15th. If we're planning to close on the 30th, if you just sat on it until 3 days before the 30th, that wouldn't satisfy this. You have to satisfy promptly. My recommendation is 3 days after the lender gets it for use. Okay, after once through the internal process for approving use of the valuation, that's when it should go out to the borrower. You won't find that in the regulation. That's our opinion, our recommendation to move forward with this. The 3-day requirement, letter D2, it relies on the mailbox rule. So in order to determine whether the borrower receives the free copy 3 days before closing, we follow the mailbox rule. Make sure you understand how the mailbox rule works. If it's delivered today, so dropped in the mail, and we'll go with that. So mailbox rule, if it's dropped in the mail today on Thursday, assuming there's no holidays, Friday, Saturday, Monday, it's in hand. That would be the start of the 3 days before closing. So drop it in the mail, that's day 0, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Monday's day 3. Now, the 3rd day after that, we can close our loan. That's how this is supposed to be counted.